Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and thank you to all the new subscribers really building this weather community as we continue forward through the hurricane season. Right now, no signs of development, but two spots I'm watching in particular. This one right here in the Western Caribbean. We've had that rain near the Cayman Islands, even back toward Belize and parts of Central America. And look at that, another surge of moisture moving into the Southeastern Caribbean. Grenada, for example, finally, we've had some much needed rain around. So I want to track this, and then this big surge of moisture that will lift up to the north. I want to get into some of the winds and the rain totals, and we'll get into both of the computer models, the European and the American. Here's what's going on now, just a zoomed in look. We've seen this moisture flowing in, and this will be the picture of the next couple of days for Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent the Grenadines, where we still need to get more rain, and Grenada. Chances of rain with us. I'm hoping some of this creeps to the north. We'll see some scattered showers possible, at least isolated in Barbados, but more of this moisture near Guyana and Suriname that will try to stream in. Broader picture, looking out here, here's the coast of Africa, and this time of year, we look a little bit closer to home for development, but as the season goes on, conditions out here become more conducive to development. Water temperatures will start to warm a little bit more, but right now, nothing crazy. That's good news. Just watching these tropical waves that'll be marching our way as we go throughout the week. And we do have a series of waves to watch. Those are kind of tropical disturbances, not ocean waves that will be moving in. Now, here's the European model. Then we'll get to the American model. But this is that big surge of moisture. Here's Florida, Cuba, Cayman Islands. There's also a front up to the north, and it's so interesting how things are really tied together on a bigger picture. This front up here in the southeast U.S. will help, in part, draw some of this moisture up to the north. Also, this area of high pressure over here. All of this just kind of feeds it up to the north. Now, this means some of the same spots will get additional rain. Parts of Cuba, as we get toward parts of the Cayman Islands and back toward parts of Central America. Also, the Bahamas, we're going to see this rain moving in. Now, I'm also watching, it's the hurricane season, also watching to see if we'll have any development. I am not, again, seeing signs of development out of this. But you see here, this is just jumping ahead. This is by Thursday. Still some of the same areas getting some of that rain, but nothing spinning up. No signs that we're going to see a tropical storm. Now, the European model is hinting that sometime next week, later next week, that there could be a little development near the Bay of Campeche. So I'm going to keep tabs on the Gulf of Mexico, but that is down the road. No signs of anything imminent. And here's why. Look at this kind of orangey shading in here, even over toward the Bahamas and then back toward the northern Gulf. As this moisture lifts to the north, it hits this wind shear. So it's an area that is not favorable for development, and that is a good thing. We don't need anything spitting up. We need to get the rain in many more spots, but we don't need a hurricane, and we'll have plenty of that to track as we get deeper into the season. So you can see here is the American model or the GFS. I'm just going to go out in time. I'll break it down a little bit slower in a second, showing just like the European surges of moisture and watching these tropical waves coming in as well. As we get toward the end of the week, let me stop the clock here. This is on Friday. You see a lot of moisture building. Now that means we could have additional flooding in parts of the Cayman Islands, over toward Cuba, even South Florida, and parts of the northern and central Bahamas. And even some increased rain in parts of Mexico where we need it, watching Guatemala, El Salvador, Belize, and Honduras. But what's going to happen is by next week, there's still going to be some leftover moisture here. We expected June to trend wetter, and that's exactly what's happening. We talked about that even early in May, that June would be wetter. Some of this moisture over here may be in an area that could develop by late next week. So we're going to start to see more signs of potential of tropical storms down the road, but nothing as of now. Now, the winds haven't been too bad as a whole, a little gustier at times, but you see them in through here, this kind of purplish shading from the Bahamas back through the Caribbean. Those are winds of 56 kilometers an hour, 35 miles per hour, so nothing crazy and no organized spin-ups in this, just watching out for slightly choppier seas. Now, hurricane season, we're in it now. In June, usually on average, one named storm a year. Then as we get into July, it does start to ramp up. And by the time we hit August, September, into October, the peak of the hurricane season. So we are so very early in the hurricane season at this point. So this is the area we're watching here for some additional rain, all of this feeding up to the north, and then this is that blob there. So let me break this down further for you and go slower as we go day by day now. So you see this is this afternoon. There's some of the rain in parts of Cuba, spotty across Central America, a little bit more in Costa Rica, and look at that rain, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, Grenada, and then we'll see how close this gets to us in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia and Barbados. You get from Dominica over toward Antigua, Barbuda, not much. Even Puerto Rico, just an isolated storm. Jamaica, as I've been showing us, and I'll zoom down in a second into Jamaica, we've been on the edge of it. Now this is by tomorrow, still in the southeastern Caribbean, that uptick of rain behind that latest tropical wave that has moved in. So we're going to see another chance of rain in the southeastern Caribbean, and then watching all this rain up here. You see the Bahamas by tomorrow, a better chance of rain. Northern and central Bahamas over toward Florida, and still wet. I think I may have said eastern before, but western and central Cuba, the best chance of rain, and still some of this moisture trying to creep in to parts of the Cayman Islands as we work our way into our Wednesday forecast. So let me break it down and zoom into some different spots. Now here's Martinique, here's St. Lucia. Slight chance of a shower. It's really Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines south with a better chance of rain. Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago. The next 3 days we'll have a few spots of 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain, and we haven't done that in quite some time. But Puerto Rico, U.S. British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Montserrat, Guadeloupe, Dominica, the rain chance not as high, and we've been so hot. We could use some of the rain over toward St. Martin, but the rain chance not high. St. Kitts and Nevis, we need to still get some of that rain, but a smaller rain chance there. And even back here, you see eastern Cuba, Jamaica on the edge of it. Most of the rain back to the west. Isolated showers and storms, Haiti and the DR back toward the Turks and Caicos. But here's that plume of moisture that we'll be seeing here, moving over toward really the northern Bahamas where we haven't had as much. So New Providence to the north later this week, that rain chance will be building. You see that back through South Florida. South Florida, the potential of some flooding back toward parts of Cuba, and then down toward the Cayman Islands where we'll get some totals of 100 millimeters of rain or 4 inches of rain just over the next 3 days. But as it stands now, all on track. Isolated showers and storms in Jamaica. Here's that zoomed in look. Most of the heavier rain, as expected, has been just off toward the west and over toward the Cayman Islands. Next 2 days, we've already had a lot of rain in the Cayman Islands, but an additional 25 millimeters to 50 millimeters of rain or 1 to 2 inches of rain the next couple days. Keep me posted on what you're getting and on any flooding conditions. Mexico, not as much, but at least over toward the Yucatan of Mexico, the rain chance will get higher in extreme eastern sections of Mexico, but elsewhere where we need to get the rain, not getting a ton as we work our way back to Mexico proper. You see Belize, some additional rainfall. Northern Honduras, we're going to see 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain if you happen to get some of the scattered showers and storms. Same thing in parts of Nicaragua. Now, broader picture here, it's this front. Remember I was showing you that front up here, this front, helping to kind of spin in some of the moisture along with an area of high pressure, just filter in some of this moisture back in the western Caribbean up through the Bahamas. There's some of the rain and storms that we've been seeing over toward Guatemala and El Salvador. El Salvador back toward Nicaragua, scattered showers and storms for today. So the broader picture, watch this big plume of moisture here, and then here's that tropical moisture pulling in near Trinidad and Grenada for today. And you see just this surge of moisture kind of gets tied into that front. So the front does enhance it. You see by tomorrow, there we go in the northern Bahamas, that chance of rain will be higher. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and even into Thursday, this is our Wednesday forecast, still watching for some of that rain that will be around. Now, we're going to see some of this even creeping up toward parts of the Atlantic region of Canada. Scattered showers around today, Newfoundland especially. A little bit of a break tomorrow, but as we work our way from tomorrow into Wednesday, we're going to see some of that rain, part of that front down to the south, lifting all the way up, and then eventually late Wednesday and Thursday, we'll see some of that moving in for the Atlantic region of Canada. So Jamaica, isolated showers and storms, a 30% chance, and on the hot side, but the Cayman Islands, that rain chance stays elevated as we've been highlighting. Trinidad and Tobago, rain chance also on the higher side the next couple days. Let me know what you get or don't get. It's good to, it helps, I keep track of all of this, helps me keep track to kind of keep an update on some of the drought conditions as well. So thank you for those those comments. Barbados on the edge of some of the rain. We'll see if some of those scattered showers could move in. 40% chance today. Same thing in St. Lucia. So Barbados, St. Lucia south, that higher chance of rain. And that includes Grenada, which has already panned out. We already had some of that rain last night and this morning. St. Vincent and the Grenadines would need a little bit more of this to try to move in. 40 to 50% chance the next couple days. 20 to 30% chance in Martinique and a 20 to 30% chance in Dominica. We lift up to the north. Guadeloupe, 20 to 30% chance and not much. Antigua and Barbuda, rain chance very limited. A lot of sunshine. We're staying very warm to hot. St. Kitts and Nevis, rain chance stays on the small side, 20% chance. Anguilla and St. Bart's, 20% chance. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, a 20 to 30% chance isolated storm in Puerto Rico, 10% chance U.S. and British Virgin Islands. The Bahamas, as I mentioned, it'll be now the northern and central Bahamas starting to see some of that rain that will be moving in. Last week it was more the southern Bahamas, but you see southern Bahamas by the Turks and Caicos, rain chances low. Isolated showers and storms, Dominican Republic and Haiti, 20 to 30% chance. 40% chance of those scattered showers in Belize. I hope some different spots are able to get some. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, rain chance about 20%. We'll see if some of this moisture from Trinidad could hang together and move in. 30% chance tomorrow in Curacao. Guyana, still some isolated areas of flooding. Let me know how you're doing in Guyana and Suriname. Rain chance about 60 to 70% for at least the next 3 days. Cuba, western and central sections, that higher chance of rain, and a 60% chance Costa Rica and Panama, so not for all of us. Scattered about in Nicaragua, 50% chance, and a 40 to 50% chance the next couple days in Honduras, maybe a little higher midweek. Guatemala and El Salvador, 40% chance, and way too dry around Mexico City, just a very isolated chance of a storm. 40% chance the next couple days, scattered showers, Yucatan and Mexico, and in northern Venezuela, 30 to 40% chance, and in Bermuda, rain chance by Wednesday at 40%. So we've got one tropical wave moving in now, watching those areas of rain near Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada, and then back toward Cuba and the Cayman Islands, lifting up toward Florida. No signs of development as of now, but by later next week, we may start to see things get a little spinny in the Gulf of Mexico or Bay of Campeche. So I'll be watching that and the Western Caribbean as we work our way into later this month, and we'll continue to track those tropical waves that will be moving in. So thank you for subscribing, putting the likes on these videos. I see them. You keep me going. I hope you have a good rest of your day and be safe.